What's up everyone, we are 2 days away from the 13th eviction of Big Brother 23 and the house guests are continuing to plot against each other, but 4 must become 3, and who is that going to be? We've got so much to talk about guys, so welcome to your live feed update. Now right before we get started folks, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and please hit the like button. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, which is incredibly difficult to understand, but I do understand the fact that hitting the like button can actually help my content a lot, so I'd really appreciate folks if you hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. Question of the day folks, now this may seem a little irrelevant right now but we'll get onto this later, but the question of the day is who is the best player in Big Brother history to place 4th? This is relevant to today's video, we will talk about this shortly, but folks, let me know in the comment section who you think is the best ever Big Brother player to place 4th place. Now folks, I will say, if it sounds like I've got a cold, I think it's because I've potentially got one coming on, so if I sound a bit ropey, that's why, but we're not gonna stop folks. We keep going on this channel, that's what we do, and that should be testament to the people in the Big Brother house as well. Keep going. Don't stop fighting and just keep hustling. You got to do that because I feel like some people in the Big Brother house often forget that. But folks, let's jump right into the live feed update. So we start the day with Kyland in the have not room and he's kind of working out and giving shout outs to the camera to his family members and his friends and Michelle and Barack Obama. Yes, you heard that folks, Michelle and Barack. He starts saying, I'm giving all the shout outs, sort of saying something like, I don't expect us to hang out outside the house or even be friends or meet up, but a like on Instagram or Twitter would be great. And I'm thinking, oh jeez, like can't you just give Michelle and Barack a shout out or something like that without asking for a like? It's so 21st century. And listen, I know, and I was born in the 21st century, so I know it sounds stupid, but I still think it's ridiculous. Why does everything have to be about Instagram likes and Twitter likes and stuff like that? Yes, we can enjoy these platforms, but Jesus, I mean, asking the former president and first lady for it on a national TV show, why don't you just give them a shout out and not ask for that? I don't know. Listen, I get it. It's not a big thing, but that's just where I stand with that one. But yes, it is getting to the point now where there's not a lot of game talk going on, and people are indeed trying to communicate with the former president and the former first lady. Big D came to the realisation that he will be casting his soul vote live in front of the nominees, because of course that's what always happens in the final 4. You do not go to the diary room. It is Julie saying, Derek or whoever it is, please stand up at the front of the living room and speak to the 2 nominees and address who you would like to see evicted from the Big Brother house. So I don't think Big D is quite enough ready to do that, but I think he's realised, okay, I've got to get in the zone for this right now. Now, of course, the power of veto ceremony is likely not going to take place until Thursday night. That is always, well, usually done live on the final 4 live eviction night as well. So, but it's not looking like Xavier's going to use it at all. His target is Kyland, and he's going to try and press Big D into doing that. But we kind of have a little plot twist, which we'll get onto shortly. But yes, folks, that is likely going to happen. We're going to get the veto and the vote all done in front of the nominees on Thursday night. Now, Xavier was talking aloud and he let us know that he doesn't know if he necessarily trusts Big D to be the person to evict Kyland, so he's feeling that he may need to pull Azah down off the block, put Big D up and get Azah to take out Kyland. Either way, he wants Kyland out. That is the aim this week. That is the target. That is the goal. And he is worried that Big D is going to put a monkey wrench in the works of that goal because he might not have the balls to do it or to... I mean, listen, it's... I feel like if Big D doesn't evict Kyland, it's bad on his part anyway. Kyland needs to be the person to go this week out of the 3 of them. Just on a game level, if Big D or Azah want a better chance at winning the game, not a full-on chance, but a better chance at winning the game, it's better to remove a player who is better than both of them. So that's how I see it. Of course, Kyland probably just deserve to win the game, maybe more than Big D and Azah, but like I say, when I do these videos, I put myself in the perspective of each person and figure out what is best for their game. And for Big D's game, while he may think he can beat Xavier and Kyland in the final 2, he most certainly cannot, so he does need to evict Kyland. Whether that may come across as conforming to what Xavier wants, that may be the case, but equally, it is the best move, and also you don't piss off the HOH as much. Although I have been a big advocate for this week, people need to stop giving a shit about pissing off the HOH because you're playing an individual game. You're not playing the HOH's game, because in recent years on Big Brother, it has been very apparent and a kind of a theme to do what the HOH wants. We don't want to piss off the HOH, of course not. We want the HOH to win all the money. No, listen, throw it back to old school. Play for yourself, make the big moves or make the move that you have to get you to the end. Not to help the HOH, not to better their game, to better your game. But the moral of the story is Kyland needs to be evicted this week no matter what if Big D or Azah want a chance at winning this game slightly more. Azah has been very candid with Xavier in regards to what he thinks of Big D's game and what he's thinking. It's becoming very, very often right now in which it's just like all the info is getting fed to Xavier. Big D goes and talks about Azah to Xavier. Azah goes to talk to Xavier about Big D. When they really need to be looking out for each other if either of them want to stand a shot at winning the game. They both are... Listen, I always say this, I've got nothing against them on a personal level. I'm sure they're all wonderful people outside the game, but we are here to critique game. And Azah and Big D are incredibly incompetent players who don't understand how to play the game well. And as a result, I mean, in my eyes, this is how I see it. We'll get into Azah's point first, actually. I'll come back around to what I was about to say there. So, Azah's saying to Xavier, you know, Big D, he really thinks he carried me here and stuff like that. Which we know isn't the case. Big D didn't carry anything. Big D is barely being able to carry himself through this game. If anything, the cookout has carried Azah and Big D, in my opinion. And yes, you can say, yeah, they were a part of the cookout, so they did good. I don't think so, because Tiffany and Xavier have kind of steered the ship. Kyland did a bit more as well, and Hannah was kind of a lot of the brain work going on as well. Azah and Big D have done virtually nothing, in my eyes. They've virtually done nothing. And even in the chance where, or in the moment where Azah won HOH, she had an opportunity to take out one of the guys who, like we keep talking about, if there's somebody who stands a good shot at winning the game, you take them out. That's what you do. You don't take Hannah out or Tiffany. I just think Tiffany's probably a bit fairer, but Tiffany wasn't going to win all the competitions. As proven, Xavier's been winning them all. We all knew this was going to happen, so it would be an injustice if Xavier didn't win the game now, because they were stupid enough to let him get through, and if you're going to play that stupid, then the non-stupid person deserves to win. That's how I see it. But either way, that's how I see it. I think Azah bringing up saying Big D really thinks he's carried me there. Listen, Azah can't say anything because she's basically being carried by the 4 stronger members of the cookout, and Big D's exactly the same. But of course, the way Big Brother works is somebody has to win, whether it be them 2 in the final 2, because that could happen. That could be a crazy, crazy final 2 in which I can physically imagine, you know, the talking to the jury's asking them questions, and I can really imagine the jury just laughing at all of their answers as Azah and Big D probably try and claim that they controlled the game and they made all these big moves. You can imagine it, folks. I know you can. I mean, because I've seen people even commenting about that, and I truly can imagine that. And it'll be an interesting night. I felt at the beginning of the season when we were seeing stronger gameplay than seasons gone past, I felt we were going to get a really strong winner this season, or a stronger winner than usual. And I feel like whilst I'm not necessarily... you all know who I've been rooting for this season, or some people I've been rooting for. And whilst I'm not necessarily rooting for X, I can still acknowledge that he's played a good game. And that's why I do believe to finish this season off, he needs to win this game. He needs to win this game, because if Azah or Big D won it, then they win the game. Because, listen, I'm also a believer in if you win, you win. And I stand by that as well. But let's just say it will be more underwhelming than somebody else winning that then has played a stronger game. Let's just say that. So right now, Kyland does think that he is, I'm pretty sure he's realising he's likely going to go home in 4th place. However, this is where things get interesting, because Xavier is planning on making Kyland feel comfortable. Because if Big D is going to be the sole vote to evict, which Xavier is trying to drill into Big D, trying to get him to do that, Xavier wants Big D to be the person to take the hit. And by making Kyland feel comfortable, like he's not going anywhere, and not letting him in on the vote on Thursday night, he wants it to be a blindside, so it looks like, oh my god, Big D betrayed me, and Xavier is really trying to work that vote there. So that's going to be an interesting one, because I feel like Kyland he's shown himself to be somebody who probably will take that personally, and I think it's quite masterful, in my opinion, that Xavier's planning on doing this, because 1, we love a blindside as Big Brother fans. 2, I mean, it's benefiting Xavier more when it comes down to the jury vote. And 3, I just think it's how Big Brother should be played. I just think it's good gameplay. That's how I see it. And they just need to really make him feel comfortable, because right now he's not, and I think he thinks he's gone. I mean, I'm pretty sure Kyland said something along the lines of he feels like he's the best 4th place person ever in Big Brother history. And I'm thinking, you know, entertainment-wise, Keisha says hi. Kevin from Baby19 says hi. Heck, strategy-wise, you ever heard of Nokomis, who came forth? She was the woman who created the backdoor plan. She came forth. Oh, and you guys might have heard of Dr. Will. I can't even believe that Kyland would say something like that. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on that. Who do you think is the best person to ever place 4th place? I've got a feeling it's going to be an overwhelming response of Dr. Will, which it should be, or Nokomis probably. But folks, I'd love to hear who you think has been the best person to ever place 4th place. That is all of your live feed updates for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. Please let me know your thoughts on this week in the comment section below. Do you think Xavier has done a good job as HOH? Should he blindside Kyland on Thursday night? Should Big D evict Azah or Kyland? And should Big D be evicted? That's another one that could be thrown in there. And I guess should Xavier use the veto on Big D, bring Azah down and make her be the vote to get rid of Kyland? There is so much to talk about, folks, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But folks, I will say, as I always do, thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you're staying safe, staying positive and staying healthy out there, and be kind to one another, okay? That's super important. Be kind to one another. But folks, in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.